Thanks for staying with us here on TCM. I'm Alicia Malone, and we have 1950s musicals on tap this afternoon, and they each star someone who is the subject of one of TCM's private screenings interviews. That next brings us to the rousing 1955 film Oklahoma, starring Shirley Jones, Gordon MacRae, Gloria Grahame, and Rod Steiger, who filmed his private screenings interview with Robert Osborne back in 2000. Now, one of the customary practices for special guests who came to TCM back then was for the producers to take them out to a nice dinner to get acquainted and go over the next day's production notes. Steiger was more than game, and there was a specific menu request. He was in the mood for Peking duck, so upscale Chinese food it was. And here's something else I heard about his time here. Steiger, of course, is known for his great dramatic performances and almost always being quite serious on screen, as he is in our film playing the villainous farmhand Judd Fry. But in person, Steiger was charming, funny, and a great raconteur. Those are qualities you will not be seeing in his character here. Oklahoma, you may know, is based on the hit 1943 Broadway musical by Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein II, all about cowboys and farmers trying to romance ladies in the Sooner State. The film version was directed by Fred Zinnemann and was his follow-up to his Academy Award-winning drama From Here to Eternity. Zinnemann had seen Oklahoma in New York when it first premiered and had a great fondness for how it brought joy and optimism to audiences during the dreary days of World War II. There are a number of production challenges that also made it intriguing, including transporting a contained stage show to the vast expanse of the plains and using a brand new 70mm widescreen process called Todd AO. Plus, it was a chance to direct a musical, which would be a first for Zinnemann. This film became another feather in his cap and one of the biggest hits of the year. And bonus, we get to hear Rod Steiger sing. Let's get into it from 1955, Oklahoma. Before Gordon MacRae was cast as Curly in Oklahoma, a number of famous and not-so-famous actors were tested for it, including Paul Newman and James Dean. Dean was doing television work at the time, and both Zinnemann's wife and a talent scout suggested him to director Fred Zinnemann, who agreed to meet with him. After waiting at a New York hotel for 45 minutes, Zinnemann figured that Dean was a no-show, but he eventually came dressed as a cowboy, flustered and out of breath. Apparently, the hotel staff wasn't impressed by his style of dress and wouldn't let him in, but he snuck in through a service elevator in time to meet with Zinnemann. James Dean later did a screen test with Rod Steiger, performing the number Poor Judd is Dead. In the end, they went with MacRae and his wonderful singing voice, but it's always fascinating to consider some of these out-of-box casting ideas. Be sure to join me later tonight for TCM Imports, but up next, Ben Mankiewicz has a double feature of futuristic, dystopian stories set in New York. Up first is a 1973 drama starring Charlton Heston and Edward G. Robinson. Don't go anywhere.
Next on TCM, Soylent Green, then Escape from New York, and later, A Silent Sunday with Charlie Chase. You could hear a pin drop on TCM tonight.